Chris Coleman, and I'm in Northern Virginia in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. And I'm a full-time investor and business owner. And right now, the number of deals that I'm in overall is, I would say probably 8 to 10 overall, and with a portion of those being in Ashcroft. I was looking to scale. Like I say, I had been in single family rentals for about 5 years at the time, had built up a healthy, successful portfolio in single family rentals. And so, wanting to do more real estate. And, for me, it was, okay, what does more real estate look like? And so that's what led me to multifamily. Ashcroft was a good fit because, I'd say that right off the bat, it was the education that Ashcroft provided. Again, meeting the people at Ashcroft. It was very much, okay, here's what, right off the bat, it was, here's what investing in multifamily real estate can look like, because like I say, I had been doing well with single family rentals. And what I knew enough about multifamily was that it was attractive, and it looks like multifamily looked like something that I really wanted to get into, but I knew enough to know that, like, I couldn't just take, the experience that I had in buying a single family rental and, just immediately translate that into, buying 50 units or 100 units or whatever. Like, there was more to it than that. And I didn't necessarily know what I didn't know, and what does that look like? Like, how do you get into multifamily? If you're not sitting here with multis, with millions of dollars in the bank to just go out and buy something, even if you are, right? How do you get into multifamily? And so Ashcroft, Ashcroft provided the education, right, of explaining. It wasn't just, well, here's what a syndication is type of thing. It was really, here's what multifamily investing can look like. Here are sort of the different flavors, different options of multifamily and, of getting into multifamily real estate. Syndication being one of those, and here's what that looks like. With any investment, right, the thing you look for is, of course, the trust of the sponsor, and really the understanding what the deal looks like, right? And so as I got more and more into it, talking more and more with folks at Ashcroft, and then just understanding what I was doing, it was getting to that point where, okay, now I feel confident in moving forward with this. Ashcroft was my introduction to multifamily real estate syndications. And so my overall feeling is that they are extremely high quality, extremely knowledgeable. Ashcroft understands not only the business of multifamily investments, but Ashcroft understands the investor side of what a passive investor is looking for. I would say one of the key things is Ashcroft understands the progression that you often see, right? Which was myself, for example. Starting in single family rentals and doing single family rentals for several years and doing well in single family rentals, but then going, okay, what's next? And then that what next becomes multifamily. But then you quickly realize that, okay, but investing in a 100-unit apartment is not exactly the same as going out and buying one single family rental, and so that progression that a lot of real estate investors make into getting into multifamily, I believe Ashcroft understands that. whether, even from a passive investor perspective, Ashcroft understands that and is able to work with investors to help the investor understand, what are the options? What does that look like? I met Joe Fairless personally before I ever knew there was an Ashcroft. I just knew there was a Joe Fairless because I met him at a conference dinner that we were at. And so if I could say it in the sense of the principles of Ashcroft, right, have been very personally invested in the investor experience. And that's probably what I've been most impressed with, whether it's, whether it's, ongoing, communication that you get via email, or literally in the mail, right? Very, very timely, that this just came like yesterday, I think, right? Whether it's the ongoing stuff that you get, or whether it's literally the fact that I know as an investor. I mean, I know I have your phone number. I mean, I can pick up the phone and call you or call, whoever, whenever I need to talk about things. And so, very much the key people who manage and the principles of the organization are very, very personable and invested in that investor experience. And number one is the knowledge, right? I mean, the industry, that there's big picture knowledge, and then there's address directly to you knowledge, and Ashcroft has both of those. Ashcroft demonstrates both of those, right? I mean, you can talk to anybody at Ashcroft. You can go on and see, the information on the website, newsletters, whatever information that's put out, and very much, quickly understand and realize that Ashcroft understands the industry, right? From a big picture standpoint. But then again, also specifically as an investor, what are your questions? Where's the gap that you need to fill, right, in order to be comfortable and confident in making an investment, getting into multifamily, understanding syndications, whatever it may be, right? And Ashcroft is able to Ashcroft is able to accomplish both of those, right? From the big picture knowledge and just that direct, let me help you, Mr. and Mrs. Investor, understand what you need to understand to be comfortable and confident making this investment, right? That's one. The other thing I would say is consistency in communication, right? That's huge. I mean, if you're investing with someone, I want to know what's going on, right? I've never, in the almost 5 years now that I've been investing with Ashcroft, I've never felt like, whoa, is there something going on with one of these properties, that I'm in that I don't know about? I've never felt surprised, right? Rule number one, no surprises. I've never felt surprised, in a bad way, right? The good surprise is when they tell you, hey, here's an extra distribution that, is coming in this year, right? Good surprises, yeah, but not bad surprises. And that's because of the consistency of communication that you get on a regular basis, right, from Ashcroft. And then the third thing I would say is consistency of action, right? One of the things when you're a passive investor in something like this, particularly in multifamily syndications or real estate, right? You're looking for, you're looking for what they said were the goals and the return structure and how this thing's going to get paid out. Like, you're looking for that to happen. If you say, okay, there's going to be distributions on a regular basis, and they're going to be, 7% or whatever they're going to be, right? Like, that's what you're expecting to happen. You're expecting to see every month or every quarter, 7%, that annualized 7% get distributed, that sort of thing. And not that doesn't happen, and then you're having to call somebody and wonder why, or wait a minute, and that's what I've seen from Ashcroft from day one, is that what they say they're going to do, they do, but they do it consistently on a regular basis, which is what you want as an investor. The results have been continuing to build the portfolio, continuing to build the real estate portfolio, right? Through ongoing growth, it's been the regular income of distributions, right? But I would say even more than, not more than that, but along with that, the results have been gaining the understanding of how you can use syndications with an actual regular plan, a regular ongoing investment plan. I very much, believe in giving back and really just sharing good news about, from a business perspective. I mean, I've been in business, I've, owned businesses and been in business and really know what it means, right? When you have a client that, that not only feels good and has a great experience, but then they're willing to share that, right? That great experience with others. As a business person myself, as a business owner myself, I very much know, what that's like. And so from my perspective, that's, I like to share that and do that as much as I can, so that we all benefit from everybody doing good. If you look at the things that make a I guess a great sponsor, right? Someone that you want to invest with, right? And of course you can talk about there's always the trust factor being number one, right? Always a trust factor being number one. And that's a personal thing, that you build trust with people and you're comfortable trusting that you want to invest with that person. You want to do business with that person, right? That's the bottom line, that you want to do business with that person. But, then you look at the other pieces of it though, and you go, okay, is the project itself something that I want to be a part of? And I would say and so you take those things together, and as an investor, you're looking at going, okay, do I want to do business with this company? If I look at the who and I look at the what, right? Do I want to do business with this company? And as an investor, that's right. That's what we're doing. We're saying, do I want to do business with this organization, right? And both the trust factor and then just from the consistency of knowing what they're doing and delivering consistently on what they're doing, right? It's one thing to say a business is delivering on what they're doing, but delivering consistently on what they're doing, right? And I just, in my experience, Ashcroft is really, they've really exceeded in both of those areas.